Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We are very happy to have with us Her Grace Surabhi Mataji, the senior disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Mataji is very enthusiastic with her bubbling devotion, cooking spirits, guiding devotees, and with her far collected enthusiasm, wisdom, and devotion, she's going all around distributing her mercy to the many devotees who are just flourishing in Krishna consciousness all over the world. So today we are here sitting at Pune at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Temple at NVCC, and we have this great opportunity and wonderful opportunity to be with Mataji and hear from her some of her deepest realizations within ISKCON. Yes, thank you Mataji for being with us today, and we are very happy to have you. Yes, so my first question to you, Mataji, how do you feel being at NVCC?
It's an absolutely beautiful place, and I love being here. And I love the champak trees.
Oh,
especially the orange ones.
Okay, okay. So we are happy and glad that Mataji loves the champak trees here. And I think she did mention about it even in her last visit, that you wish that you would take some of them with you.
Yeah.
But then they have pulled you back again at NVCC. Thank you, Mataji, for being with us. So Mataji, I would like to begin with asking you, how did you first come in contact with Srila Prabhupada and the process of Krishna consciousness?
Well, I came in contact with Krishna consciousness through my friends helping the devotees who were taken away in the paddy wagon in Sydney, Australia.
Okay.
By the police.
Oh.
And my friends were there, and they called out of the van and said, "Can you please go to our temple and tell our temple president we've been taken away by the police?"
That's quite interesting, an amazing way to get introduced.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, how did you go further?
Well, then my friends, they came home. We were all living together in this little tiny place, which originally had 3, and we finished up with 6. And I was the only one who was working. And they said, we met the Hare Krishnas.
Okay.
And we helped them, and the temple president invited us to come to the Sunday feast.
Oh.
And so when Sunday came, I said to my friends, "Are we going to the Sunday feast?" And they said, "No, we have no money." I said, "I've got some money.
Okay.
Let's go." So we went to the temple.
Okay.
And that was the first time I ever had anything to do with
Krishna.
Krishna. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Okay, so I think it gets the phrase, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So you were there to help out your friends, but I think Krishna, the best friend, became your friend in the process to help your friends. So that was very nice.
Yeah.
Could you share some of the very first impressions of Srila Prabhupada, having met him? I mean, what did you feel?
I didn't meet him till was almost a year later.
Okay.
From that time, maybe a little less.
Okay.
And it was in London.
Oh.
And we were going there for initiation.
Okay.
And everyone has that impression when they see Prabhupada for the first time. You're expecting this amazing tall person.
Sure.
Because of the way he was and what he taught. And then we came across him and he wasn't very tall, but very beautiful.
Oh.
And very happy and very concerned always. Where have you come from? We said we came from Amsterdam.
And he personally asked you?
All of us.
Okay.
And he said, how did you get here? We said we came on a ferry.
Okay.
And then to Dover and then up to London. And he said, "Oh, this is very wonderful. I'm very happy that you all came." And then the next time, well, we got to see him in class, but then the initiation day was there. And we all had to go up individually and get our names, and he talked to us. But my amazing experience was that we're in this room with all these people.
Okay.
And they're all looking at you when you stood up to walk up to Srila Prabhupada. And he must have noticed that I was a little nervous. So when he gave me, he says, so what is the 4 regulated principles? So we said that. And then he said, how many rounds? 16 rounds and 25 on a Kaddashi.
Okay.
And then he said, your name is Surabhi Devi Dasi, the name of the transcendental cow, the giver of abundance of milk. And then he said, I just sat there for a bit looking at him. And he said, don't be afraid. He said, if you follow this process, you'll go back home, back to Godhead at the end of your life. And that was, for me, a very amazing thing. I felt his love, and I felt so at home with him. And I've never forgotten, and I actually use it a lot in my talk, in my talking to the devotees about what Prabhupada said. Because it was such a significant point that it's for everyone, not just for me. Yeah.
You felt that accommodation in Srila Prabhupada, whoever it would be.
Yeah. He was talking to me because he could see I was nervous, but he was talking to the whole world.
He was talking to the whole world. Oh, that's a beautiful point.
Yeah. The devotees ask me.
Okay.
Sometimes I always tell them that.
Okay.
They're very nice one.
Yeah, that was a very nice one. To not be afraid.
Yeah. And to follow this process.
Okay.
And you'll go back home, back to Godhead in the end of your life.
Okay.
So the devotees asked that, how do I overcome this? I said, well, this is what Prabhupada said. So if you follow the process, that's all you have to do, follow the process.
So Mataji, my next question is, did you ever feel any obstacle or a challenging time when you felt it was too difficult to get going with the process, or you ever felt it to be like...
Well, there's been some challenges. Sometimes the challenge of the way the men treated the women was very
I think that's universal.
Very challenging. And, I had some times where I just thought to myself, it's not too hard. I just thought, I wish something would happen to sort these fellows out. Because this is not how Prabhupada taught us. He loved us, he cared for us. He didn't see any distinction between men and women. And he, for that, I learned so much in Krishna consciousness. I became a cook after 2 months. I was a Harinam devotee from the second day I was in the temple.
Oh.
I learned so many things, not just those 2 things are significant because I've used them not my whole life, but, learning how to play the mridanga, how to do arti, how to do toxi arti, teaching others these things.
Oh.
And, there's so many things I learned as a devotee, whereas when I was young, I never felt comfortable. I didn't think I was good at anything. But when I became a devotee, everything just opened up, flowered. You can do so much.
I think that's a beautiful perspective, Mataji. And although the question was on challenges, but you so very beautifully proved that more than challenges, it's made you more capable. Yeah. It's made you more efficient and a wholesome personality to pick up so many things in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. I think it makes you more confident.
And with the challenges, I know things have happened to me that happen to normal people. And I thought to myself, a normal person, you hear many times normal people, if they go through challenges, they can't cope. They end their lives, they do this and do that. And I thought to myself, well, if it wasn't for my years of sadhana, every day the same getting up early, chanting, I would have never got through this soul situation.
Oh.
But because I have Krishna behind me and Prabhupada, what he's taught us and how to
follow it.
Yeah, follow it. I know it's because of that I was able to be strong enough. Yeah.
I think that's a very crucial point, Mataji, because challenges are going to be there, process is there, but what keeps us sail through the challenges is the sadhana.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I think that's very important.
Without it, you'd be lost.
Yeah, we'll be lost without sadhana.
Yes,
It's
that's why
amazing.
devotees go away. You know, sometimes they come back because then they realize, they go away and they realize, well, you know, when I was in the temple amongst the devotees chanting everything, then life wasn't so terrible, and then they come back.
Yeah.
But my god sister, one time I said to her, well, why can't we come back in our next life and start where we left off, where we had left off? And she said, but you don't know, in your next life you might be deaf and dumb, you might have a deformed body, you might have some brain problem, and you mightn't have this opportunity to have this good, healthy body that you have now, that you can use in Krishna service and have more opportunity. She said, so it's too big of a risk. And from that moment on, I never thought like that anymore.
Oh, I think that's startling to know that you don't know whether you'll get this opportunity again in next life, and so just use it. What is in your plate?
Stay here, use it, and you know, be strong.
Be strong. Yeah, I think so far we got some very important points. Sadhana, be strong, follow the process despite the challenges. Yeah. So I think that's.
If you do that, you know, this teaching is it's a happy teaching. It's a nice teaching. I really like people. I'm a people person. It says it in my chart. And it says this lady will get on a train, a plane, an aeroplane, or a bus, and the person next to her, by the end of the journey, has become a friend, and they're sharing telephone numbers. And I said, wow. I said, that's me. Oh. And it was in my astrology chart. Yeah. Yeah. The first time I got it, I didn't really read it much. Okay. But I had to clean out my storage unit because it went through a flood. And you know, it was a big job. And I found my chart and I thought, oh, let me read this. It's like I hadn't read it before. Okay. And I read that in there and I went, oh my God.
It was quite matching.
Yeah, this is me, all right. Yeah. I make lots of friends. Okay. Yeah.
It has its own advantages because you're able to connect with people and connect people to Krishna. Yeah. So that's a very great advantage of being social.
And I wasn't like that when I was young. I was rather shy when I was young. Oh. Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable to talk to people so much. I used to feel embarrassed. What will I say? If I say that, oh, no, I won't say that. They'll think I'm silly. And you know, but later on, somehow or other, this confidence has come, and I'm not afraid of anyone anymore.
Jayashri Prabhupada.
Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable with my godbrothers. Okay. I didn't like them so much, and you know, they made you feel uncomfortable because they made you feel that they were superior than you. And after some years, many years actually, I was able to become a stronger person and have no, you know, a better self-esteem. And I just
suppressed.
Yeah, no, I just overcame it, and I had no fear. And I just thought to myself, look, they're no different than you. And so then I can talk to any of them, whereas before I couldn't talk to them. Okay. And I think that's been a really important thing in my life, in my Krishna consciousness, and also with your preaching. You know, sometimes I feel more comfortable to talk to a non-devotee man than I would to a devotee man, which is not good. But yeah, and time is changing now. Yeah, because we shouldn't have that feeling. We're all Krishna's devotees, and woman body, men body. You know, if we're going to spend time to give Krishna consciousness to others, we have to have that confidence that what we're doing is the most amazing thing. And we can give it to others, but if we have that fear, and in a way the men have for years, it's like as if they've been trying to suppress us and stop us from being who we are, you know. And so if you overcome that and you're able just to talk to anyone, which I can now, then That's the best way.
Yeah, that's the best thing. I think the challenge has turned into the biggest confidence. Yeah, it has opened you up completely. And from a shy person here, you are traveling all over the world, inspiring millions around, talking about Krishna consciousness.
I don't have any fear anymore.
Jai Ho. I think Abhaya Charana Ravindare.
Yeah.
That's what Srila Prabhupada's name suggests and signifies. And also there's this beautiful bhajan of Bhaja Hure Mana Shri Nandanandanam Abhaya Charana Ravindare. One who takes shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna is never fearful. And I think we can see that in you for your complete shelter and confidence that you carry with Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. My next question would be, how would you see the movement after Srila Prabhupada? Like, what are the feelings that you all have gone through, and what would you want to advise to the generations next to carry as a spirit of Prabhupada?
Well, when Prabhupada left this world, some devotees cried, some devotees were just, wow, what are we going to do now? I felt that for a few seconds, and then I thought, we're just going to go on the way Prabhupada taught us and keep going and doing what he wanted us to do. That's how I felt. And I've always kind of, everything he's taught us and writes, like he says, don't change anything. And I just kept on being very strong with Prabhupada's instructions. Why are you doing that? This is not what Prabhupada said. This is what Prabhupada said. And I've followed that the whole time, and I think it's really, really important. You notice in my classes, I'm always talking about
Prabhupada's instructions.
What Prabhupada's instructions, what he wanted us to do, what he didn't want us to do. And so that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I follow by that.
Okay. Is there any one instruction that is very dear to your heart, of the many?
There's many.
Okay, some of them.
Oh, about chanting the Maha Mantra properly.
Okay.
Very important.
Okay.
As I say, just treating people nicely, how Prabhupada taught us. Don't let people treat you like you're a lower class person. And the people out in the world, they treat you sometimes better than the devotees do. And just anything that he taught us. No, he didn't teach us like that. He taught us like this.
Okay.
And so I try to share that with the devotees to make them understand. You want to go back home, back to Godhead, you have to follow nicely. You have to follow the instructions. Don't change something just because you think, oh, well, that sounds nice. Let me do it this way, and just general things, or adding a whole lot of different things. Like Prabhupada taught us. He taught us in quite a simple way, and I feel in my life what he taught us, that is a big thing.
Yeah.
And if you keep following that without adding on this and adding on that, and we
kind of modify it quite a bit in order to make it relevant to the people in today's day and age. But in essence, we lose the the core of it, the spirit of it.
You have to be careful in that way. So I'm really a kind of like right on the line with what Prabhupada taught us.
Okay.
And no deviations. Oh, well, you're saying like that, but Prabhupada didn't teach us like that.
Okay.
And then they've got to explain themselves. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very much
focused on what Prabhupada is.
This is the way we play the drums. This is the way we play the kartals. This is the way Prabhupada taught us how to cook, and like that.
Okay. I think that's
the way he taught us how to behave in the temple.
Yeah, that's very important.
And I question. I'm very much in question.
Jigyasa.
Yeah, inquisitive person. I was like that when I was young. I remember my auntie saying to me, "You're too inquisitive." But inquisitive is a good quality. If you don't ask questions, how are you going to get answers? When I was young, I was going to the Sunday school, and the minister, I said to him one day, what does God look like?
Oh.
And he told me, you don't ask questions like that.
Oh.
And then I was about 13, and I thought to myself, if there's a question, there must be an answer. And after some time, I didn't go there anymore.
Oh, really?
And then I kind of didn't go anywhere. Kind of got complete.
Yeah. So you backtrack things.
Yeah, well,
you align your routine to what you want to achieve.
Yeah. And if something doesn't agree with me, I learn a lesson. I know you didn't like that last night, and so therefore this caused you this pain this morning or whatever. You know?
It's amazing to see your health. Touch wood, may you always remain like this.
Well,
but then I think it's what you work. You're conscious about it. Yeah, you're focused on that.
I can walk for 10 miles, but I can't get off the floor. When I make obeisances, I have to have something to hang on to both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, just maybe knee, maybe hips, who knows. But walking I love, and I can do it easy.
Yeah. We have seen your swift walk. It's almost a fly.
Sometimes swift, and sometimes I've got to slow down because I've got high blood pressure and it fluctuates.
Okay.
And I notice when I go too fast, then I start feeling like that and draw myself back.
But I think, Mataji, you're much better than what all of us are at 40s. You're way beyond us. You're almost double the age of us.
These days, the young people are getting sicker quicker than us older ones.
Yeah.
But we also, when we were young, we didn't splurge on oil, which you all do now. We only just took ghee. But there was a tendency to eat too much. But the best years for me were when I was in Germany and I wasn't married yet. And Himavati and Hamsadutta, they took care of the temple, and Himavati, she took care of us, all our meals. And we just, every day, it's simple.
Okay.
And on Sunday, feast. And Prabhupada said that, simple during the week, feast on Sunday.
Oh.
And we lived our life like that. And then I came back to Australia, and the devotees there didn't have that strategy.
Okay.
They'd eat all this rich
carbs, fats.
And then I started getting sick.
Yeah.
Then I started getting sick because I've got gallbladder problems for many years.
Yeah.
You know, but when I cooked myself, I didn't cook like that.
Okay. No. So I think these are very important tips that you have given to all of us, Mataji, that weekdays, keep it simple. Weekends, with the temple, with the devotees, it's a love feast and it's a prasad feast.
Yeah. And
I think that's a better formula for good health.
And if we could just eat simple.
Yeah. Mataji, getting back to your, just some time ago you made this point that you had this inquisitiveness, what does God look like? And that was very much in your childhood, but I think it's Prabhupada's grace that you first time got your answer to it when you met Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees.
When I met the devotees on my first day at the temple.
First day at the temple. So did you get your answer thoroughly? Like what did God look like?
My answer was given to me straight away.
Straight away?
This is what God looks like. He's blackish blue, like a soft coloured rain cloud, the first soft coloured rain cloud. Oh my God, look how beautiful he is. And I've always loved beauty. I've always loved a handsome man or a beautiful girl.
Okay.
And I never felt afraid to say to a girl, you're very beautiful, you know, like that. And, you know, children, anything in life that was beautiful, I counted, you know.
You recognize it and acknowledge it.
Yeah, I recognized it.
But I think that's because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, so...
So when I seen Krishna for the first time, and I liked his name.
Oh.
And then, it was immediate.
Okay.
And the devotees, remember Dad, my godbrother, he was talking to me and he told me the principles. And I'd kind of like been there, done that, only just very quickly. And the only thing I had to give up was not being a vegetarian.
Okay.
I wasn't a vegetarian, and I became a vegetarian overnight.
Overnight?
Yes, he told me that God cries when he sees us kill the animals and eat them.
Okay.
And that was it for me. I never touched, I never smelt it, never went near it. So
oh my God.
I've been a vegetarian for 54 years now.
54 years.
Almost.
It's not even our age.
The end of this month.
Okay.
June will be
good.
54 years.
Okay.
And so I followed that.
I think that's really marvelous, Mataji, because many of us Indians are not able to, like many out there are not able to give it up. But you being, as Prabhupada said, it's not of this body.
Yeah, brought up totally in a non-vegetarian family.
Environment, yeah. Okay.
And when I look at people now that were vegetarian the whole life and then they start eating non-veg, I just can't even believe it.
Yeah.
It's beyond me.
Imagination.
Yeah, and it's so horrible. Like I couldn't, once I became a vegetarian within the next few days of going to the temple, I couldn't even smell it. I couldn't walk past the meat shop and smell it. I just turn
away your face.
Or I go past a pub. Ugh, that smell of that alcohol is just disgusting, or cigarettes or things like that. It's like you woke up after all these years that this is a horrible thing. Okay. But before that you were living in it. You were living with meat in your parents' house. You were going down the street, a person smoking the cigarette in front of you. You're walking past a pub and the smell of the alcohol. But as soon as I found out our principles, I'd already following 3 of them, just not the vegetarian. And I didn't know why. All I knew is that I dabbled in it. I tried it. And I realized that this is not for me. And I just gave it up cold turkey overnight,
Okay.
But it was only like for a few months. And, and then to be able to just walk down the street and not be able to stand the smell of non-veg food or a cigarette or an alcohol, it was really amazing.
I think that's an amazing journey to come from one end to the other end.
Yeah.
And I think that's all because of Prabhupada.
I think the reason why I've always been able to remain without wanting to ever do those things again, I did it by myself.
Okay.
When I was young, I was only 21 at the time. I used to get what was it? The cigarettes? No, it was the alcohol. The cigarettes first. Okay. No, it was the drugs. I dabbled in a little bit of drugs when I went to England, and within less than a year, I gave it up because one day I used to get really bad chest pains.
Okay.
And one day I got that chest pain and I just said, these cigarettes are doing this to you, you have to give them up. So cold turkey overnight, I gave them up. And then later on, I was still dabbling a little bit in the drugs. And then I used to have an incredible memory. I could remember things from when I was 2 years old. And all of a sudden, my memory was starting to fade. Oh. And I said, these drugs are doing this to you, you have to give them up. Cold turkey overnight. I never gambled. I ate non-veg food because I was just in ignorance.
Yeah.
So the whole principles were already there before I even joined the temple. They only had to give one thing up. And so I felt, very...
it was not that difficult. It was easy for you to embrace these principles. I felt
fortunate.
Yeah.
When my godbrother told me the principles, I felt very fortunate. I went, I don't do that. No, and I don't do that. And don't do that. No illicit sex. I had a boyfriend before. There was no illicit sex involved in that. But, and he was in a band, and I didn't realize what band means. Okay. They've got a girl in every place. Oh. And we thought we were their girls. Okay. And then we found out, so that I didn't, and before I became a devotee, I made a strict decision. I don't want to have anything to do with men. Okay. I just forget about them. And I had an opportunity to get involved with one young fellow, and I just said to myself, no, forget it. They're all the same, don't do it.
You're so focused right from the childhood and so much determination that you could give things up overnight. I think that's really an inspiration.
Yeah. Well,
it comes from the past Sukruti, I guess, and your principle-oriented life.
Yeah, all our life before. And you don't really realize that. My mother used to say that, things to me like, my sister might have done something, but she said, No, I know you'd never do that. She had kind of like...
She had confidence in you.
Yeah, she did.
Pretty sure about your core existence.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Oh, that's amazing, Mataji.
Very much, you know.
Yeah.
And then she passed away. I never seen her again. I went to England, and my mother said to me, "When are you coming back?" And I said, "I don't know. I might never come back." And she said, "Don't say that." But I never seen her again.
Oh.
She passed away when I was away. She was only 47.
Oh, that's sorry to hear.
Hemorrhage of the brain.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
But she was, in many ways, I mean, she had no idea about being
a devotee,
non-veg or anything like that. But she taught me things, you know, like I remember one time I said the F word, which is quite prominent in the Western world. And my mother said to me, she said, "Don't speak like that." She said, "Only low-class people speak like that. And if you want to meet a nice person in your life, don't speak like that." From that day on, I never said it. And still to this day, I can't stand to be around
then such words are being used.
Yeah, type of language, right? And I took her very, very, very seriously, you know. And I found she was quite wise. And when I became a devotee, and I you know, our principles and everything like that, and when I got married, I really lived what my mother had taught me, and I realized that she was quite a good mother, and she was interested in our good
human being.
Yeah, to be a good human being. Yeah.
I think with this solid foundation, it's very easy to embrace the life of Krishna consciousness, because you were already following quite a bit of it because of the training that your mother had given and the kind of personality you carry yourself. It's amazing. Mataji, just a couple of things. How do you value friends in Krishna consciousness, and can you tell all the ladies that how important it is to have good friends in Krishna consciousness all throughout?
Well, good friends means someone who's going to inspire you and encourage you in your Krishna consciousness. That's a real friend.
Okay.
You know, there's a friend like Prabhupada. There was a book by my god sister, Srila Prabhupada, a friend to all.
Oh.
He was a friend to all. You know, he didn't have one particular friend, but he was a friend to everyone. So we should try to be a friend to everyone. And now being older and being a mentor for the devotees, I very much like people, and I like to talk to them and be friends with them. When we do a program, were you there this morning?
No, I wasn't.
We do a program. I give it. You know, we might do a Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we did teachings of Queen Kunti.
Yeah.
And then I get them to ask questions.
Yeah.
And then after that we give out prasadam. And then we have a photo. And then we have hugs. And I really find it really nice. Some of the girls, especially, I do this in India.
Yeah.
You know, Prabhupada gave me this job to do, I just went to visit Ujjain because I was going to go to Mumbai to the Govardhaneka village and go there and do some Ayurvedic treatment.
Okay.
And somehow or other, I said to them a couple of weeks before, I want to come and stay. And they said, "Oh, don't worry, just ring us up before you're going to come." And I rang them up, and then I sent them a letter. He told me to send the letter to here, and I did. And then 2 days before I was going to go, they said, "There's nowhere for you to stay."
Oh.
And I thought to myself, well, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And I met Jagannananda Pandit Prabhu. He's a doctor from South Africa. And he told me he was going to Ujjain to the opening of the Pushpa Samadhi from Bhakti Maharaj. So I just looked I got my ticket to Mumbai, and I just thought, okay, Ujjain. And I tried to put in for a ticket to Ujjain, and they said no. A ticket to Indore, and then you get to Ujjain.
Okay.
So I didn't have any money left, and I rang my son and I said, "Can you lend me $200?" And because I'm buying the ticket the last minute, it cost like $100 more than what it normally would. And so then I finished up in Ujjain.
Oh.
And it was such a wonderful experience. And then the lady said to me, will you come and will you do a class for us ladies? I said, sure. You know, and I finished up doing 3. And then after that I went to Surat. I went to Mayapur, I went to visit the devotees in Gurgaon. And then I thought, I want to go to Surat, because all the devotees came from Surat to go to the Pushpa Samadhi. They were from,
to take darshan of
They were
Maharaj.
Maharaj's disciples. And they said, please come to Surat. And I said, well, it's somewhere I've always wanted to come, because Prabhupada came to Surat and he said, he said Surat is full of devotees. And I said, I've got to go there. And so I said, all right, I'll go there. So I just made my itinerary and I made a flight from Delhi to Surat. And when I got there, Mataji, I was there for 5-6 days, and she made a class every day with the ladies. You're going to this house this day, this house that day, that. And that's how it all started.
Chai.
Yeah. And some of them had a hug in their whole life. And I thought it was so nice. And in Indore, they told me they'd never met a Prabhupada disciple, Mataji, before. And so I just thought, wow. And then I realized Prabhupada's giving me this service to do. So now I just do that. I go back and see the ones I've met, because they're attached to me and I'm attached to them. And then at least every journey I go to at least 4 new temples that I've never been to.
Oh.
Yeah, the smaller ones, you know.
Yeah.
This time I went to the 50th anniversary in Vrindavan.
Okay, yeah, Krishna Balaram.
The opening of Krishna Balaram Mandir, because I was there in
1977.
75.
75, yeah.
It's not come to 2027.
27.
And then after that I said, well, I want to go where it's a bit not so cold as what it's going to be in Vrindavan. They said a lot of people, they go to the Himalayas when it's really cold in Vrindavan. So I went up to Kurukshetra, Amritsar, Hardwar and Rishikesh.
That's nice.
So there are 4 temples I hadn't been to. And then we went from Rishikesh to Hardwar and back to, on the way to Mayapur. And one of my friends was traveling with me, and I said, no, I'm not going to go on a 3-hour flight, a 3-hour train from Hardwar to Mayapur. I said, we have to find somewhere in between. We found Kanpur.
Oh.
Beautiful, just beautiful temple, what they've made out in the countryside. And then we went to Mayapur. Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an extensive travel, Mataji. I think we haven't traveled enough yet in life. And you travel every single day. It's amazing.
Came back to Kolkata. I went to Kathmandu.
Oh.
That's where I went from Kolkata to Kathmandu. I always like to, if I can go to a country nearby. Last year I went to Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And so then I flew to Cochin after Kathmandu. And I've got a nice lot of devotees in Cochin that they're very...
Yeah, you did mention about them yesterday.
Inspired by them. Yeah. And then I wanted to come here. And from here I'm going to Indore again and then to Ujjain to meet the devotees.
Oh.
And then I've got a flight, a train to Mumbai from Ujjain, yeah. Okay. And then when I get to Mumbai, I've left a few days. I have to go to the Bhaktivedanta Hospital for a checkup.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go either to Surat then, just for 4 days, on the Vande Bharat. and then after that I was going to go to Govardhaneka village for a few days. And the last part of my journey is Coimbatore, because there's a very good Ayurvedic clinic there. And then the last place is where I came to India, and that was Chennai. I go back to Chennai for 4 days.
Okay.
For 5 days.
It's incredible to hear your itinerary, your travels, and the showers of mercy that you give in every place, Mataji.
But I like it very much. And, you know, Krishna gave me I think it's about 2.5 years ago now, he gave me a multiple entry visa into India.
Okay.
And I can be here for 6 months of the year, at the most 90 days at a time, either 90 days, 60, to stay here. So I think while I've got this visa, I might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah. Why not drown everybody else in Krishna consciousness and take this opportunity?
And when I found out that how little they get to meet Prabhupada's disciples, and what an impact I had upon them to be able to tell them stories about Prabhupada. And it's just like, they relish it so much. You want to go and do it again.
It's like an oasis in the desert, because we never get to meet one.
Yeah.
At least in Pune here, we have some opportunity to keep meeting one or the other Srila Prabhupada disciples. But in the places that you have mentioned, I know. I mean, for them, it's like, waiting for the moon to rise.
Well, I was only getting to meet Prabhupada's disciples. Ones that, practically speaking, I've never met, because we were brought up in Europe, and we never got to see them very much, and that's with the American Prabhupada's disciples. And so in Mayapur, during the festival, I set up with one of the devotees, Padmanayan, in Mayapur, that Prabhupada's disciples, when they come there, they get a room. If we can afford it, we pick them up from the airport, and we put them on a
accommodation,
a taxi, accommodation, a taxi for the parakram if they need to go. Look after their health, give them food for devotees their age, and we really take care of them. This has been going on for some time now. First of all, I had to collect the money to be able to do that.
Oh.
And because they weren't taking care of us. And so I did that for about 4 years. And then all of a sudden, Mayapur decided, they said it in cement, that when Prabhupada's disciples come there, they're going to have somewhere to stay.
Oh, that's so nice to arrange.
Yeah, that's been very, very good. And therefore,
very helpful.
And they told me, thank you for doing that, because now we can come and visit Mayapur. Whereas if we had to come
and just worry about your
provide our plane ticket, provide our accommodation, we couldn't do it. And they said, because you've set up this for us, we can come.
Yeah.
And devotees I hadn't seen for years
have been coming to Mayapur.
Yeah, been coming to Mayapur. Some of them had never been before. So it was a really special thing, and it's still going on. And I was just there, and we were there for 10 days, and we stayed in the Prabhupada village that Ambarish and his wife set up.
Okay.
And it was very nice to stay there. We didn't have to worry for anything. Yes, except we had to get our own prasadam. But other than everything,
the majority part was arranged. So I think that's a very good initiative, Mataji, because all Srila Prabhupada disciples have given their youth to Prabhupada and the movement of Krishna consciousness. And now I think it's a time for the later part of generations like us to be really taking care of all Prabhupada disciples.
And when we were in Vrindavan, there was 80 of us there, and you really see we're all getting older now and can't walk properly, can't even make obeisances hardly. And, every one of us is, skins are getting
Not at all, Mataji. Your skins are falling, but your spirits are too high.
Yeah, but it was really nice having their association. And for me, it was getting to know them. And I don't have any problem. I just walk up to one of the Prabhus and say, what's your name and where are you from? And
just begin talking.
Yes, I'm Surabhi from Australia. I just wanted to say hello. Because I've never met you before, and that way it was really, really nice. But during that course of that time, since I've been in India, just in the last, how long will it be? By the time I go back, it'll be 3 months.
Okay.
But just when I came into Chennai, and then I went to Vrindavan, and just in the course of that time, 3 weeks in Vrindavan, 2 or 3 of my godbrothers and sisters passed away. And then again, from that time on, another 3. So I say to the devotees, I said, Prabhupada's disciples are leaving quickly. And I said, take advantage of it. Okay. I said, I want every one of you to take care of them, right to the very end. I'd love to see more than one, like a retirement village, like in countries like America, Australia, Europe, where there's actually a few Prabhupada's disciples. They could come and they can live there. It's not like a retirement, but it's just like just a nice home.
Small community kind of a
community
thing.
home. Yeah. And it can be in other communities. And then they can have a nice gazebo. And every afternoon
they can come up together.
One can come,
dine together.
Yeah, and everyone can come there and hear the stories. Because even when you try to tell the stories, like I'm hearing stories, right? When you're sitting in a comfortable situation, all these other things come out. Memories come out. And it'd be really nice, really nice for the younger generation. And if some of them aren't very financially well off, well, you guys have got the cash, so you look after them. 10 of you look after one Prabhupada's disciple. Make sure they have everything they need. Come and look after them sometimes. Because I realize I really need that. I need the girls to be standing there so I can get up off the floor. But otherwise I'm okay. But, this is not going to stop.
Yeah.
It's going to go on like that.
Amazing to hear that initiative at your end, Mataji. And I think it's a big lesson for all of us, the later part of generations, where we should take it up more sincerely and dedicatedly and do our part to... We can never repay the debt, what Prabhupada disciples have done in the service of Srila Prabhupada and others.
When I mention it to some people, and to those who are a little bit older, that they're not Prabhupada's disciples, and they go, what about us? And I say to them, first you look after the eldest. Just like in the family, mother, father. First you look after mother, father, and then you look after the next one, the next one, the next one. So Prabhupada's disciples, whether you like it or not, they are the eldest. So take care of them. When they're dying like flies, take their association while you've got it.
While they're around.
One day, we're in our 70s now, mid-70s, late 70s, right? Some are going on to 80 now. They're not going to be around for that much longer. So take advantage of it. Look after them. Whatever they need, give them, And then after, when the last one's there and he's dying, you're all going to be crying.
For not having taken advantage of when they were around.
Advantage of it. And then you're just going to have the DVDs. But the DVDs aren't the same as the person.
Yeah. And when they're around, we should make the best use of it.
Yeah.
So I think this...
Invite them to your temple.
Yeah.
I'm coming here, I'm just choosing temples as I haven't been there before, I'll go there. Oh, there's another temple. Oh, someone tells me about that one, let me go there.
I think you're perfectly trying to follow Srila Prabhupada as a Parivrajakaacharya, going all around the world. And I think, Mataji, this interview has been a very wonderful opportunity to know more about Srila Prabhupada's disciples and what we should be doing on our part to take care. And I think this is where we can begin from after having heard from you. So thank you for being with us, Mataji. It was amazing and very inspiring. I just hope and pray we'll be able to put it into implementation and do our bit.
Well, have a Prabhupada festival.
Yes.
Have a Prabhupada festival in ISKCON Pune. You've got everything here.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Like in LA, they put on a Prabhupada festival every year. And Prabhupada's disciples come from all over the place to that Prabhupada's festival. All the devotees get such a wonderful opportunity to hear.
To see everyone.
Pune is such a nice place. You've got the best
champak trees. Champak trees. Yes, we hope to have you again and again for those champak trees.
I haven't gone anywhere and seen so much champak trees, especially those orange
and
ones.
even the kadamba you must have seen. There are a lot of kadamba garlands around, and even they are all showering down.
Yeah.
So yes. Thank you, Mataji. It was wonderful having you and hearing from you and all the devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna. So I hope we all relished being with Her Grace Surabhi Mataji and her wonderful realizations, her determination, her inquisitiveness, her spirit to carry on Krishna consciousness and Srila Prabhupada's mood even after Srila Prabhupada's physical presence on this planet Earth, and the way she's inspiring all over the globe, traveling all over the globe and inspiring people with her same kind of dedication and devotion that Srila Prabhupada has instilled within all of them. So I hope you all liked it, and Please do share with us what is it that you would love to take home with you and put into implementation whatever Mataji has shared with all of us with respect to the sadhana. Take up the process, face the challenges, be in the company of devotees, and so many other things. And the one last phrase that Mataji used was Prabhupada Festival. So let's do our bit part towards this great treasure of Srila Prabhupada's disciples that we have amongst us while they are around. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,